Full suspension bikes are most riders' bread and butter these days, but there's still a whole lot of loving out there for the humble hardtail. Every time we feature one, we get flooded with positive comments. As an ode to these rigid rear-end rigs, can you guess our 5 picks for the most lust-worthy hardtails you can, well, mostly buy in 2024? Yeti's legendary Arc may not be new for 2024, but that doesn't mean it's not one of the most coveted hardtails around. The stunning carbon frame is the latest in a long line of glorious Yeti hardtails, from the Arcs of the 90s through to the Unicorn C26, the FRO and the Ultimate. Yeti has tried to mimic the looped chainstays of those classics with carbon fibre, and combined with the low slung top tube and drop chainstays, the result is one of the cleanest looking hardtails we've ever seen. The internal cable routing also helps to keep the lines uncluttered. It's not just a show bike though, the Arc is built for shredding the trail. The huge press fit bottom bracket area and sturdy tube shapes mean the bike is perfect for getting the power down. The carbon layup should mean you get a comfortable ride too. That bottom bracket also gets ISCG 05 tabs, so you can run a chain guide to prevent drop chains from damaging that glorious carbon. The Arc isn't just a jumped up XC bike either. With the frame designed to take a 130mm travel fork to iron out the rough stuff, this is a proper trail hardtail. Being a few years old, the Arc isn't the most progressive in the geometry department, but it's certainly not an outlier either. Reach on a size large is 465mm, while the seat angle is plenty steep at 76 degrees. The chainstays are 433mm long, leaving only the 67-degree head angle as something that looks conservative compared to some other hardtails like Kona's Honzo ESD with a 63-degree angle. It does include SRAM's UDH though, so is compatible with the brand's latest T-Type transmissions, which feature on some models. On the subject of models, the Arc is available in 4 complete bikes and 1 frame-only option. The frame costs £1,999 or $2,100, while the base C2 starts at £4,199 or $4,600, and the range tops out at $8,400 for the T4XX transmission in the US or the £6,599 T3 here in the UK. We covered the Arc in a previous video, so check that out with the pop-out banner at the top of the screen up there. If there was one hardtail that really grabbed the headlines in the last 12 months, it was Pinarello's Dogma HT. While the aesthetics are on the polarising side compared to the Yeti, you can't deny this cross-country race machine has pedigree and race-winning credentials. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot piloted the bike to double glory at the Cross Country World Championships in both the short course and Olympic distance events. Tour de France stage winner Tom Pidcock rode to bronze in the short course on this bike before swapping to the Dogma HT's full suspension sibling to take gold in the XCO. Not bad for a weekend's work. Racing is in the Dogma's blood, and nowhere is that more obvious than the design of the bottom bracket and seat tube junction. 2 small struts join the down tube, seat tube and bottom bracket together to help optimise frame stiffness and pedaling performance. There's more unusual detailing in the rear end of the bike, with both the chain and seat stays featuring an asymmetric design. The non-drive side of the rear triangle is reinforced, which Pinarello claims helps the bike to counterbalance forces into the drivetrain for a more balanced energy transfer. As is the trend on many cross-country race bikes, the Dogma features a one-piece integrated bar and stem with internal cable routing. Modern XC courses are pretty hardcore these days and crashes aren't uncommon, so the frame features an internal steering lock to prevent it being damaged if you stack it during a race. At the time of filming, the Dogma HT is still the preserve of Ineos Grenadier team riders, but we're hoping to see it fully brought to the market later in 2024. If there's one bike we've been asked to feature more than any other in previous top 5 videos, it's Banshee Paradox. Designed by UK native and company owner Keith Scott, the latest Paradox V3 is completely reworked from the previous model, with not a single part remaining. Designed for forks ranging from 120 to 150mm of travel, as well as 29-inch or the now lesser seen 27.5-inch plus wheel sizes. The aluminium frame has been designed using finite element analysis simulation, which the brand claims allows the strategically machined and forged yokes and dropouts to offer a level of vertical compliance unmatched by other aluminium frames. The brand says that each forged component works together to take the edge off the sharpest hits. Other frame tubes are hydroformed to help achieve the same goals and maximise frame performance. At the same time, internal ribs in the seat stays and chainstays maximise stiffness and strength to weight for superior efficiency when pedalling and better control when riding on the ragged edge. To keep you from going over that edge, the Paradox's geometry is bang up to date. Reach on a size large is 474mm, while the head angle on all sizes is 65 degrees. The seat angles also get steeper as the frames get bigger, ranging from 76 to 76.5 degrees. Tight 425mm chainstays should also keep the handling nimble if you need to make a last-minute line change. Unlike the others in this list, the Paradox is sold as a frame only for £799 or $999. Would you choose this over the more expensive Yeti? Let us know down in the comments. We've had carbon and aluminium bikes, so time for a steel steed. Mason's Raw is a UK-made trail bike that is equally happy shredding in the woods as it is adventuring out in the wilds packed with bags. Following on from the brand's Boca and In Search of adventure sport bikes, the Raw is Mason's first true flat bar mountain bike. Built in the UK by Five Land Bikes, the Raw is designed for forks with 120mm of travel. Tested by the brand's supported rider Josh Ibbett on the notorious HT 550, it's clear the Raw isn't afraid of the odd ultra-endurance event. The frame is made using a combination of Data Zero and Reynolds 631 steel tubing and has a whopping 15 integrated mounts for bottles, bags and accessories for loading up with gear. For those more interested in shredding, there's room for 29 by 2.6 inch tyres, and the short seat tubes means you can fit a long travel dropper post even on the smaller sizes. The geometry is also on the versatile rather than the single-minded end of the spectrum. The head angle is 66 degrees with a sagged 120mm fork, while the reach is 471mm on a size large. These are neither overly slack or steep, but do show just the kind of rider Mason imagines the Raw to suit. Being handmade from quality tubing on home soil means the Raw is not the cheapest around. The frame is available on its own in 4 different colours for £1,695 or as a frame set with a RockShox SID fork for £2,395. Complete bike starts at £3,795 for the SLX build, and you'll be set back £4,695 for the range-topping GX Axis build with Hunt's proven Race XC carbon wheels. The Raw was one of the bikes we pitted against the Yeti in a recent group test, so keep your eyes peeled for the review on our website soon. You really can't have a list of hardtails without a titanium frame thrown there into the mix. Moots is one of the world's most prestigious titanium frame manufacturers, having lovingly crafted bikes since 1981. For 30 of those years, they used only titanium. The Womble, named after its namesake trail in Mount Ida, Arkansas, is the brand's titanium trail hardtail, built around a 140mm fork and 29-inch wheels. Like most of the other bikes in this list, the geometry is modern without being overly progressive. You won't find any 63-degree head angles here. The Womble sports a modest 67.1-degree head angle, a fairly steep 75.7-degree seat angle, and a 450mm reach in a size medium. To cope with the intended riding, Moots says the Womble sports proprietary double-butted top and down tubes that are said to be the largest diameter tubes it has ever created. This should give the bike enough brawn to match its obvious beauty. If your legs feel as brawny as well, you can choose to have your Womble set up with sliding dropouts for single-speed use. Even without any brash branding, the neat welds and distinctive 3D printed dropout design mark this out as a stunningly put together bike worthy of the Moots name. If you desire though, you can add some flair to your Womble with a whopping 12 finishing options alongside the standard brushed number. These do come at an extra cost though, which is significant for some of the more complex options like the Hunter camo effect. Which actually brings us quite neatly onto the price. Frame-only options start from $4,975 or £4,800, while complete bikes are from a heady $8,540. Tick every option available and watch the basket grow to an eye-watering $13,000. We think we know the answer, but would you ever spend this much on a hardtail? Let us know down in the comments. The humble hardtail may be past its heyday, but they are still a compelling option for many. Do you already own a hardtail? Did we miss anything that you think deserves a shout out? Let us know in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and if you want to see how we built up 2 examples of the same hardtail, then check out this video.